What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Mike LaBelle. Welcome back to the Playbook. Today, we have a finishing glitch. That's right, I said it. Early on, I thought it might have just been a fluke. That was not the case. If you're new to this channel, which you are, make sure to drop a subscription. Let's get into the goodness. Ayo! Spoiler, this is going to be a showcase from Balotelli. I am still crushing souls with this Balotelli. If you have any questions, make sure to hit the comment section. If you found this useful, you found this helpful, a little ball roll for the people. Cookbook especial. Make sure to drop a like. Here you go. We've cut inside. You've got the 1v1. Goalkeeper. Oh, how do you finish from here? You got questions. Can you hit it with power on the near post? Can you go across the body? It's not going to work. Mainly because of the spacing. Let's take a closer glimpse. Let's zoom in, shall we? If anything, we've been programmed to try to beat the goalkeeper with some sort of dribble or a sideway touch to open up an angle. But I realized over time, you don't have to do that. And there's your finish. Okay? I want to showcase the sequence in full effect. I've noticed a pattern, and I believe that using the R1 dribble, which we've made a complete tutorial on this channel, shifts the way that your goalkeeper moves even at a later stage. So we had some R1 dribbling in that sequence. That's where I wanted to kind of get at. After the R1 dribbling, I'm just telling you, goalkeepers react in a funky way and you can nutmeg them. And it's not about you aiming. It's not about you doing anything special. This is a normal shoot command. You just tap it. If I wasn't doing this all day, every day in Foot Champs, I wouldn't make a video. I'm telling you, it works. It 5-holes the goalkeeper time and time again. You don't have to do anything with aiming. All that's going to be done with shifting your body. I actually like, in many circumstances, a head-on approach where my attacker has already created the angle. So I'm not doing anything left analog stick. We're not doing anything wild here. Tap it under the goalkeeper. Don't worry. We have a lot of examples. This is not a one-off. This is not a fluke. This is not something that just happens in a blue moon. I tested it last weekend. I scored 8 or 9 of these goals. And most importantly, it's not that I scored 8 or 9, but the efficiency in which I did it. Full disclaimer, this is one of those common circumstances quite frequently here. Mbappe, you've already cut inside. There's nothing for me to do here. Look at this situation. You are surrounded by defenders. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know why they're right next to each other. 5, 6, 7 in totality. And forget about that pass. Good luck to you. If anything, you would probably have to turn this back around. If you really want to score a goal here, these are more or less the options. You would have to do some sort of resurface, pull the ball back around, and then go to one of these guys. However, as a man that is well cultured and experienced with this finish, I'm in the bread and butter zone. The goalkeeper's going to get nutmegged. I know he's going to get nutmegged. I've seen this happen time and time again. I already used the R1 dribble, and you might say that's not correlated. I'll hear your argument, but all of my clips, and again, if I wasn't doing this at such a high level, the 8 or 9 that I scored over the weekend, maximum 10 attempts. If you watched it live on Twitch, you know that I'm not here just spitting to spit. Goalkeeper under him. Every day of the week. Every day of the week. We take on the defenders. R1 dribbles here. I let off of the R1 dribble while I'm in this position under the goalkeeper. Is that super important? Give or take. I don't think that it's going to be a main factor if you're holding R1 or not necessarily when you go for the finish. It's more about getting into that position. I will even give you another angle. The keepers just fall over. That's the point that I'm making. They fall over, and this hasn't happened in previous games, so you wouldn't necessarily have this built into your DNA as a way of finishing. Doesn't have a track record. Don't worry, we have more, and I have multiple tutorials actually covering different ways to score from corner kicks and set pieces. When you're taking on a front player, and I'll just give you a little bit of a breakdown here, typically you want to take advantage of this space and the benefits of the end line, because if you lose the ball, number 1, you're not getting counterattacked. Number 2, it's likely that you're going to draw another corner kick, which means you get an additional attempt. We love attempts. It's a bit of a game of percentages anyways when we're talking about scoring from corners. So you beat the front man. Now I'm in this bread and butter zone. Again, I already look at this. My opponent's on a late switch. But I already look at, I don't think he can cut me off. I've got Mbappe. I'm going to go into an R1 dribble. So out of sight, out of mind, I'm already thinking about these defenders here. If I can beat either of these front two, because in theory, you're thinking they're going to come into this space. At least that's where my headspace is. Number 1 or number 2's got to approach me. There's number 1. If we beat him, now I got an angle. R1 dribble. He's on my hip. These player switches don't matter. It's also worth noting that I don't feel like I've opened up good options, because a lot of people will look for these passes. I'm not mad at it. I just don't think they're necessarily open in this specific example, hence why I go for the direct approach. Goalkeeper, you're looking at that and you're saying, there's no way. That can't be a thing. It is. And it's not about the curvature. A lot of times we think that we need this little angle where you sidestep, and then you'd have to go around and you tuck it into the corner. Even myself, I score a lot of goals that way. And I thought this year it was a requirement that you still had that angle. You had to create that angle. Any sort of diagonal in order to slot it home, it's just not the case. Nutmeg all day. And I consider this kind of glitchy, kind of buggy because it works at too high of a level of consistency. And I really find it to be part of this R1 dribbling, Jeremy, Linsanity type of goal scoring sequence and circumstance, and the dribbling just opens up everything. We're taking more corner kicks, and I don't make the rules. And if anything, we've seen R1 dribbling patched, and I just don't think that EA's necessarily been able to stop it. Still overpowered. Front man. I love the body feint to attack this direction. I've made multiple videos on the body feints, on corner kicks, on dribbling. Therefore, we're not necessarily going to detail it heavily in this video, but I want you to have the full lens of what we're looking to do, even for the setup. That circumstance, now we have the new front man again that you got to beat. I also look at if I beat this man, and it doesn't matter if I'm going towards the end line or if I'm going centrally, I'll have a chance to take a shot or make a pass that can convert to a goal. Either way, if I get a little bit of momentum, whether it's a step over, whether it's an R1 dribble, some other skill move, could be even a ball roll into a burst of speed or a sprint dribble, I will be in a position where the following players are going to likely be a little more flat-footed, which gives me a competitive advantage. Mbappe, we beat him right here. Does not matter if my opponent switches players or not, because I'm already into a full sprint and I'm on a certain agenda. I'm going straight at the main man. But because of that R1 dribble, I got that little burst. And I've already done the R1 dribble, therefore the goalkeeper is going to act how he's going to act. That's my theory. There's not necessarily proof in the pudding. It's definitely an analytical approach from yours truly in terms of measuring metrics. But at the end of the day, it's an opinion piece. But I can just tell you that it's working, and it's working for me at too high of a level. Here we go. We're around. Cut just slightly inside. But again, all day, every day, normally the angle you create would be at over here. You have to go farther wide. I would have to take the likes of Mbappe, even a small side touch, but he would have to go from here into that direction. Always. A little bit of a dribble, and then the angle's there and you tuck it home. Not this straight on approach that we're seeing. This is about as straightforward as it comes. You beat the defender, you go right at the goalkeeper, then you love touch it. And in terms of power, you can go too soft and you can go too hard, if that makes sense. I guess I'll just give you an example. So I've got the lovely PlayStation controller here. All right, this is my shoot button, right? So if you just do like that, I don't think that's enough. You have to give it a tad bit more. But if you power it up too much, the problem is it's no longer on the ground. Even if it has a little bit of lift, the goalkeeper now, it hits his crotch or a knee or a leg or a calf, whatever. It doesn't work the same way. That might be a funny way to look at powering this up. I would say 1 bar or less. If you want to bar it up, you want something along those lines, on repeat. I'll give you the full review one more time. Mbappe, lovely from a short corner. Got body feint. Then we take off, beats that man, takes advantage of the space, straight on at the goalkeeper. Easy. I don't make the rules. I just share the information. I'm telling you, this is broken. It's a bug. It's a glitch. In my opinion, it's still around the R1 dribbling. Can you finish? Can you beat a goalkeeper? Can you get it under his legs without having that instrument? Of course. But when I analyze the percentage of the conversion, R1 is always part of that equation. So I'm just throwing that out there. If you have questions, I'm here to answer them. Use the comments section. If you found it helpful, drop a like, and please, by all means, feel free to subscribe. And do you like the fit? We got that throwback Diodora couch show. We got Baggio on the back. We're talking skill moves for the Skill Moves Maestro, and I have a lot more content coming out ASAP.